Talking and speaking of the House of Representatives, let's put this up there on the screen. The House Ethics Committee has now secretly voted to release the Matt Gaetz ethics report. So let's take everybody back in time to November, whenever Donald Trump wins the election. He shortly afterwards makes announcements about who are going to get appointed to major cabinet positions. One of them is Matt Gaetz as the Attorney General of the United States. Matt Gaetz resigns from Congress as a result of this nomination. However, it quickly comes out that at the very same time, the House Ethics Committee was slated to release a report about Matt Gaetz involving ethics complaints about him and his involvement with young girls and even allegedly somebody who was underage. Again, allegedly, keep in mind the Department of Justice did investigate this and he was never charged. Well, all of this then comes full circle when the so-called ethics report was allegedly going to get released if Gaetz stayed in the nomination process. It appears, Krystal, that he had to drop out as a result of that because multiple senators said that there was no way in hell they were ever going to vote for him and that it would eventually become a public circus. So he drops out of that. So now he is both no longer in Congress and no longer an incoming member, or at least cabinet administration figure in the Trump administration. He has since announced he will be taking up a position at One American News, where he'll be hosting a primetime show. So Matt, welcome to the media game. It's great to have you.
It's probably the lane he should be in, to be honest.
Oh, absolutely. And he's always been good at it. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, he's talented. He's good, right? He's got a lot of people who like him. And at this point, he's got a big personality. Exactly. That's what you need to be in this game. So I have no doubt he'll be successful. Now, we thought, okay, it's dusted. Ethics report, it's never going to come out. They say, no. He's not getting away so free. Even though he won't be the Attorney General, even though he's not even a sitting member of Congress, screw him. So basically, they are still furious with him. Kevin McCarthy, who previously had allegedly read this report, and it said previously, he's like, I've read all the reports, I've seen the text messages. That's the only reason Matt Gaetz hates me, because Gaetz is one of the people who got McCarthy kicked out. It is speculated that McCarthy was behind the scenes encouraging all these members of the Ethics Committee, many of whom he raised a lot of money for, and he's like, no, get it out there. He's like, screw him. We got to nuke his public reputation. So it appears that this is a behind the scenes long campaign by Kevin McCarthy to try and to get this to the front, and it has been successful, at least in terms of the vote. We haven't gotten the report yet. And by the way, I just want to say, for all these reports, release all of them. Anybody.
Sure.
Every single one that's ever been invested. Any payoffs, every ethics complaint, etc. Here's the thing. This isn't a criminal proceeding. It's not about due process. If you're a member of Congress, you should be held to a higher standard than the rest of us. So I'm happy about it, actually.
Fair.
Yeah.
No, Kevin McCarthy is going to hunt Matt Gaetz until the day he dies.
Right.
Like, that is pretty clear. And I mean, there's some really basic, just like human lessons here too, which is this would not be happening if Matt Gaetz hadn't been like, people hate this guy. Like, people in his own
Washington
caucus
really hate him.
Really hate this guy because he was an asshole and they just didn't get along with him. I mean, it's really not ideological. The only ideological part is like the fight he picked against Kevin McCarthy, which even that wasn't really ideological. There were some things that he wanted out of that, and then he aligned himself with, the small group that could hold up Kevin McCarthy's nomination and sent to Speaker of the House. So to the extent that that was ideological, I guess, but most of this is just personality. And so, yeah, they took a secret vote. This happened apparently a while ago. We're just now learning about it, and the report is supposed to be released sometime in the relatively soon coming weeks. And I also think it's pretty clear that you can say Gaetz, who I don't know that he has a lot of shame, did not want this to come out. Because when he got the Attorney General nomination originally, he did not have to resign from Congress. That is not a thing you have to do. And then not only did he resign, and when he resigned, that report was supposed to come out 2 days later. So he did it like in the nick of time, he resigns. And not only does he resign from this term, he's like, no, I'm just gonna resign. The seat I literally just won re-election for, I'm also gonna resign that seat in also an attempt to keep apparently this report from coming out. So, there are things in here that are clearly embarrassing to him that he doesn't want to see the light of day. We do have a response from Matt. We can put this up on the screen. That is, it's interesting what he has to say here. I'll just read the whole thing, and then Saagar, I get your reaction to it. So he says, the Biden-Garland DOJ spent years reviewing allegations I committed various crimes. I was charged with nothing, fully exonerated, not even campaign finance violation, and the people investigating me hated me. Apparently many people do, Matt. Then the very witnesses DOJ deemed not credible were assembled by House Ethics to repeat their claims absent any cross-examination or challenge from me or my attorneys. I've had no chance to ever confront any accusers. I've never been charged. I've never been sued. Instead, House Ethics will reportedly post a report online that I have no opportunity to debate or rebut as a former member of the body. In my single days, I often sent funds to women I dated. Even some I never dated, but who asked. I dated several of these women for years. I never had sexual contact with someone under 18. Any claim that I have would be destroyed in court, which is why no such claim was ever made in court. My 30s were an era of working very hard and playing hard too. It's embarrassing, though not criminal, that I probably partied, womanized, drank, and smoked more than I should have earlier in life. I live a different life now, but at least I didn't vote for CRs that F over the country. So there you go. There's his response. Of course, the most noteworthy line there is that he sent funds to women he dated, and even some he never dated, but who
even some
asked.
I never dated, just who asked. Wow, you know, that's
Generous,
sounds like a good deal.
He's a generous guy. He's just a nice guy,
That's
Saagar.
true. When people come up to me, I always give them money, right? That's what you should do. That's out of the goodness of your heart. It's the holiday season. You know, who amongst us is not the son of a Florida scion millionaire? It's just the whole thing.
Whose best friend is in prison for what,
Yeah,
tax
whatever.
fraud, or I don't
I
know.
don't even remember. Yeah, the whole this whole thing with the yacht and who the guy who was partnered with. I think
that story is too.
There was a problem there, and
very
he was the
difficult
victim
to
of
follow.
blackmail. That was a whole other thing. Don't forget, Matt Gaetz' father is very, very wealthy and powerful. I think he's a former public official as well. Anyway,
So one thing is, I think, part of maybe the rationale and why people were compelled to vote for this report to come out is because even though he's taken his One American News Network gig, I mean, it's not clear he's done with politics.
Yeah.
So I think it is an attempt also to spike his reputation and limit his prospects of coming back in. What's going on with this Florida Senate seat? And
yeah, that was a big question. Actually, I don't think he was ever in running for Senate.
Really? Because there was some talk about that.
There was some talk of it. It seems that Lara Trump, who is Trump's daughter-in-law, wants the job. That's Eric Trump's wife, and she was obviously a major figure at the RNC, and so she's got a lot of interest in politics. She's a Florida resident. Ron DeSantis under a lot of pressure to appoint her. It's not yet it's not yet clear whether he's going to do that. Then there's a big question about Gaetz and his future. Apparently, allegedly been wanting to run for governor. So apparently that's something that was there, at least for after DeSantis is gone. So you could see how One America could kind of be a bridge thing for him before he ran for the governor. But apparently him and DeSantis hate each other. So there's a lot going on here. I don't know what it is. But yeah, the Florida Senate thing, I think Lara Trump will probably get it, but we'll see.
Interesting.
I mean, I would assume
she had also been talked about for running for the North Carolina Senate seat.
That's right. That was previous. But I think whoever it is, what is his name, Tom Tillis, I think he's the one he's running for re-election. So that one's not going to be up. And he seems to be playing better with MAGA and probably not going to face a primary. And it's just way easier to just get appointed to a seat and then defend that seat in a special election, which you almost certainly would win now that Florida's a red state. So
yeah. But the other thing is I think DeSantis maybe a little bit has his own eye on that Senate seat. He could appoint a kind of placeholder who's an ally of his and who, he has an agreement with that they're not going to run again.
I don't know if he would. He hates Washington. I mean, he hated being a congressman. I don't know why you'd want to be a senator.
Just
I mean, a
senator's
just to stay in the game. That'd be the only reason if you really wanted to. But I mean, by all accounts, he really did not like going back. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show ad-free and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.